2 months ago, I tried making an anime style animation featuring my original characters, and here's how I totally messed it up. Hi, it's me, Scared Lemon. The journey from update 2 to update 3 has been an actual uphill battle. In the last episode of How Hard Can Animation Be, I talked about wanting to animate my original characters interacting. As it turns out, animation can indeed be very hard. I have two original characters who are part of the same story, so I came up with the idea to animate their first time meeting each other. Before I start a project, I like to have an idea what I want the finished project to look like. Once I have a goal in mind, it's easier to work towards that. So in this case, I had to break down everything that I needed before I started with the animation. I figured out how I wanted the background to look like, how I wanted the characters to look like. I realized that I didn't have character sheets for any of the characters, so I had to do those. And even worse, I didn't even know what one of the characters looked like. At this point, I decided that the first step to starting this animation was to create the character sheets for the characters. And this is as far as I came to finishing it. To make myself feel better, I even created content with these character sheets. Before this, I had never drawn a child character. I don't know how you draw them. I had to learn all of that from scratch, and I did with the help of this. I figured out the art style that I wanted to go for, the characters, the background. I made a storyboard. I played around with the timing of the frames. And with all of that in mind, I thought I had it all figured out to start line art and hopefully go into coloring. The keyword being I thought. When I started doing the line art animation, as it turns out, my biggest problem was not knowing how to animate. It was having different face each time syndrome. Each time I drew the child character, he looked like a different person. The female character did not fit the vibe that I wanted. It was at this moment I started losing motivation because I had already put in so much work trying to figure everything out that this contradiction demotivated me a lot. I did not know where to go from there, so I took some time away from the project, hoping that I might have some fresh ideas when I come back. After this, I would constantly come back, try a new approach, look for some tutorials or some way to figure out how I could finish this, and sometimes those new approaches or ideas would help me solve a problem that I had been having. But in the long run, the animation made no real progress. I was learning and I was pushing myself to finish the project, but nothing came of it. And like that, I would stop wanting to work on the animation. After 2 months of not being able to draw anything else, because I had to finish this first, I scrapped the whole idea and moved on. Despite everything, I learned a lot from this experiment. I found out how camera movements work and that I didn't actually have to draw the zoomed in versions of my characters and backgrounds for each new frame. I also learned about the filing system that works for me, which will also help me in future to stay organized. The most amazing thing I discovered during this animation was using vector layers for line art. So yeah, even though I did not finish the project, even though I did not have a polished animation, I have learned a lot from this experiment, from this attempt. And that is what matters because ultimately my goal was to learn. Thank you very much for coming to my rant session and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!